What's up, everybody? Welcome to PixelPlay Sidequests, your bonus content every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical, joined as always by Kaylan and Mr. Jin and Chris. Obviously,
Friday.
we were about to I don't know, figure out what the hell we were gonna do on this episode, and then literally 4 hours before showtime,
Sony's like, I got you.
PS5 Slim. That's not the actual name, but PS5 Slim. We have a new model coming out in the holiday season, or at least that seems to be. It's kind of, I don't know did they even give a date for that?
Yeah, it's the holiday season.
Okay,
Yeah.
that wasn't crazy. I thought I saw it somewhere, but you never know. So obviously they're making some changes. It is going to be smaller, so the big radiator is now going to be a smaller radiator. It will still have a digital and physical edition, but the digital edition will have the option to later on, if you want to go with discs, buy the hard drive or the disk drive separately. I believe they said, yeah, you can buy it for $79.99 US afterwards if you want to do that. But other than that, they are adding the terabyte space to be a little bit bigger, because I know it was a custom 825 gigabyte the first time. Now it is a straight 1 terabyte. So you get a little bit of extra space. But otherwise, the pricing is essentially unchanged, I believe, because it's $499 for the disc version and $449 for the digital edition. This is US prices, keep in mind. But yeah, it seems like they just did everything that people were asking for, other than changing the design, which I know is a very divisive topic, but they've made it smaller. It's not as heavy. And if you want to be able to add a disk drive later, you can do that now. So it seems like, apart from a pro version, which is just making it more powerful, which I don't know if it's necessary right now. I think there's still some time to get a little bit more juice out of this model before we get into that. But I think all intents and purposes, with no price change, if this is just the default model going forward, for anybody new picking up a PS5 during the holidays and after that, I think we're in pretty good spot. Kaylan, what do you think, since you're our resident Sony pony?
Yeah, I genuinely like this idea. I think it's really good. The biggest thing I like is the option of having a add-on disk drive. I think there's a problem that a lot of people who went the digital route, probably don't regret it, but it's nice to now have the option that you can go back and forth. Like, I have the disc model in the background here, so I like my physical media, but from a game preservation perspective, at some point they're going to shut down servers, and so people with digital consoles, there's a possibility that they won't be able to access games. But now, with a disc drive that you can add on later, you can always go back and get other games. So I really like that perspective. With it being smaller, thinner, that's just something that Sony does every single time. I'm sure Santa's going to appreciate having less to carry in his sack where he's going around. With it being 30% lighter, I think this is really cool. I don't love the design, but I mean, I've not been a huge fan of the layout of the PlayStation 5 at all. The biggest concern I have with this is the fact that they've redesigned the faceplates, with it having that little cut in the middle. Kind of makes it that they're going to stand out from the original PS3s. And as I understand, they're discontinuing those original designs. And so this just creates a weird thing. We were kind of thinking, oh, hey, faceplates are going to become this thing that they're going to start doing, with they did with the Spider-Man. I guess Spider-Man is going to be the only one that we get, because I doubt that they're going to have two different versions, one for the Slim and one for the original. So that's kind of the only thing I see where it's going to have a legacy impact going forward, where, hey, the faceplates are going to be hit or miss whether they're usable. So that's really the only gripe I have with this. But I think price is right. I think the features are great. I like it. We'll see how it performs once it gets out there. But if assuming it works fine, I think this is a huge win.
Yeah, I think that's my only argument, is that I actually think the design on the base white version with the new cut in the middle, I think that actually looks really nice. I think it looks sleek. But if you're from a custom perspective, if you were making custom side plates, now you got to account for there's going to be a black line in your image. So if you're making custom plates, that's kind of a pain in the ass. Now, people are going to find some cool shit to do with that. There's going to be some people that find some really interesting ways to make a dual design plate or something like that. I think there's some cool ideas you can do with it. If you're a big fan of something, you can have the top plate be the sky of something or whatever, and just have the bottom plate be your characters on the beach or something. There's some cool shit you could do with it. So I think it goes both ways. I like the design and I hate it in some aspects. I think it's just really depends on what you want to use it for. But yeah,
It's just dividing the faceplate community that like you're now gonna have two different options, two different designs.
yeah.
Like
But
that's
again,
the only thing where
it's
I'm like,
more options. I guess unless your complaint is, well, what if I want the design that I can potentially put a disk drive in, but now I have to go with the one with the streak in the middle.
yeah, well, I'm just thinking like if let's say they come out with, Ghost of Tsushima comes out with a faceplate, are they gonna make one for the OG PS5
Yeah, I
and one
suppose
for the
that's true.
PlayStation Slim? Like that's
I
I mean, not that
imagine
PlayStation's
going
leveraged
forward,
it,
it's
but
going to be just this one because I imagine they're going to discontinue the old model now.
exactly. And they've sold 30 million copies, and so those people aren't gonna like they now have divided community in terms of faceplates that I mean, they haven't been utilized that much anyways, but
Look,
I
if you
thought they
want
were
it
gonna
that
start
bad,
doing it
there's
with
plenty of
Spider-Man.
places that'll make a custom one for you that almost looks the
I
exact
know.
same. You'll be
I
fine.
know. I know, but I'm just saying it's a weird choice on Sony's part.
Eh. It's like one of those things where it's like it's a weird choice, but also is it really the biggest one? Nah.
No.
Well, Chris, what do you
That's
think? Is this the worst thing ever?
I don't think it's the worst thing ever because here's the thing: like every 3 years, this is at least just since the last like 2 generations or whatever. It's always halfway in. Usually, they'd come out with a pro model, and then the default model would get a slim version, and those were the two new models going forward. Like PS4 did it. I think Xbox kind of did something similar. Like it just seems to be like the normal going forward. The issue I have is those faceplates. It's 100% that because Sony was selling all these faceplates that were for the old model. And then now, if you're somebody who wants to upgrade, like your old faceplates can't upgrade as well. I'm assuming like they're not going to work on this because they don't have the slit. So like you kind of have to start from scratch if you were going to upgrade. Now, I don't think there's a reason to upgrade. If you already have it, besides the system being a little bit smaller, you'd only upgrade if you really wanted the digital, like the disc version, and you only had the digital. But at that point, you would have been buying a whole new PS5 anyway.
Yeah, I think
so
if
it's
you're gonna
not like
if you're gonna
thing.
buy this when you already have one, the only reason is because you have the digital version and you want to have a disc version, so you just trade in, get that one. It's a little bit smaller and it has a bigger drive, and then you can now have the disc drive as an option down the road. But I think this is more of like this is for new owners. I don't think this is really for people that already own a console, unless there's like a very
Unless
like
I
niche
was gonna say, unless
case.
your console fails, like unless like the
Yes,
failure rates come out and you
but
replace
at
That
that
too.
point you were gonna buy a new one anyway, so
no,
now
but if
there's
you
a-
let's say you've bought custom skins or custom,
True.
faceplates, like those are gone.
Yeah,
It
all
just
of
yeah,
it
that
seems like
stuff.
an
we're
it seems
talking
like
like a very small percentage at that
hundred
point.
percent. But like they
Yeah.
literally just came out with the Spider-Man faceplates. Like they literally just released them last month, and now
Yeah.
those are
Look,
already
Jim
not going
Ryan
to
went
work
out
with
the
the new
door, and now
consoles.
somebody went in and be like, "All right, change everything," and immediately they bring out this new design.
This is why they let go of Jim Ryan. What are you doing? Get out
How
of
do you
here!
know it was Jim Ryan? How do you know the new guy didn't just walk in the door and be like, "All right, put a black hole in this fucking thing now"?
He was like walking. He's like,
Yeah.
I hate this. He scratches like a black line across.
Yeah, he
the
just
picture, like,
keyed the sides of the PS5.
And then he's like, "That's what we're doing." Yeah, he's
yeah.
an
Some guy in
artist.
design didn't realize it was just scratching it. He's like, oh, we're gonna put a black line. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
just
mean,
because
like, if we're really talking about an aesthetic choice at this point, whereas, like, I think we're all in agreement that being smaller, lighter, and having the option if you buy the digital to then upgrade to a disc drive, I think is a pretty fantastic idea.
I
There's
think
more
it's good.
There's more pluses than negatives, and like
Yes.
the racing strip at least means it's also gonna go faster too. So
Yes. Oh, so much faster. The aerodynamics.
Yeah,
are gonna
that's
be
built
insane.
for a Sonic skin right there.
Oh, yeah. No, for me, it's with the faceplates. It's also just like money wise because Sony has all these official plates that match their official controllers. And then it's like you may have gone and bought a bunch of the purple controllers and you have the purple faceplate that goes with it. And you have all the matching and the matching. And then you want to upgrade or your console dies. You get this new one. You have all these accessories that were with your old PS5. And now it's like, well, fuck. Now this is useless to me. I'm going to have to buy a new purple faceplate to go with my new system. So they're basically making it where you're going to have to start from scratch with all of these. Well, not all of them. The controller will still work and stuff, but any of the design stuff you did from the official Sony branded peripherals, you're going to have to kind of start again. And that's the only thing for me is this design choice has caused that to happen. So it kind of
Look.
just sucks for anybody who wants to. Yeah.
Look, if you own a PS5 now with a purple faceplate and you want to buy a new console and you also still want your purple faceplate to go, look, you've got $50 to burn, you're fine. You'll be fine.
If they have the purple faceplate.
can you still buy the
Again,
faceplates?
someone can make that. When that console comes out, give it about 2 to 3 weeks. Somebody will already be making the new faceplates. Don't worry
Getting
about it.
sued
It'll
by
be fine.
and getting sued by Sony.
Yeah, as opposed to like everything else, like somebody's gonna make a sticker then. Fine, you're good. What are they gonna do? Stop you from making stickers? Oh no.
Yeah. I think like if you're somebody going in to get a PS5 from the get-go, I think this is the natural order of things. They always would come out with a slight remodel, keep the price the same. It's got a little bit more of a benefit, like being smaller and stuff, but it's still basically the same thing. I have no issues with that. I think
Yeah, we're talking
amazing.
about the actual
And
tech. They literally just added 175 gigs to it. That's it.
yeah, and the modular idea with it having the removable disk drive for like, I mean, it's interesting because it's still like you buy the digital or the disc, but then if you change your mind later, you can upgrade is neat. I'm surprised they didn't just like sell just the digital only and then the disc drive. And then it's just like you got a bundle. Like the fact that they're like, oh, there's 2 editions because it's now just the same console. It's just, did you buy the piece and stick it to it? You know what I mean? I feel like they would have been able to go with this marketing thing of here's a PS5, here's a disc drive. And if you bundle them together, it's $30 off and there you go, or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, there's also something to be said now. Like maybe it is the better way to go the digital because now your disk drive is replaceable. That if it breaks, it's much easier to fix than if you're getting a pre-built one.
I think it's
Well, I
also
think
like a niche case too, where if you buy it, like if like it could be a case of the original owner bought it as the digital version and then somewhere down the line sold it to somebody else. Well, they got a deal off of getting a PS5, but they also still want to play discs on it potentially. At least that gives them the option. I think there's, again, this is a very niche thing. It's a weird decision that they didn't just decide to do this across the board and just only sell the digital edition with the hard drive as being an option. That's weird to me, but at the same time, like, I'm not a tech guy. I don't know if there's a specific reason why. Like, maybe there's an advantage to getting the disc version. Maybe the heating option is a little bit different if the disc version is embedded into the... I have no idea. We won't really know until somebody tests it. I'm sure after this thing comes out, somebody's going to run some tests to see what the point is. But at least until then, we won't really know. That's the only thing I'm guessing. There must be some sort of reasoning as to the benefit of having, like, the actual disc model, because I'm assuming that isn't removable on that model. I don't know, but again, like, I'm just speculating here at this point.
Yeah, a true gamer buys the disc version and then removes the disc to make it digital only.
Says the guy who has the only digital version out of the 3 of us.
No, I know, but buy the disc version, pay the extra money, but then just remove the thing you don't need and make it
so
digital
you're gonna
again.
be the guy. So you're
money.
the guy that, like, when the Xbox came out, he literally bought a 360 and then in front of everybody beat it to death with a sledgehammer.
I mean, it probably already killed itself with the Red Ring of Death.
You can tell that the economy's bad when those videos have stopped happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can fix it.
No, the difference is instead of a sledgehammer to the console, they do a sledgehammer to people's wallets when they friggin' were selling it for like $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that,
But
does
I think
anybody have any
overall-
other points on the console?
Nope.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a bright thing. I mean, obviously, we're going to be waiting to see a pro version down the line, whatever that looks like. I'd say we're probably another year or two before that comes, but we shall see. That being said, that's going to do it for this episode of Sidequests. So obviously in the comments below, when you're watching this video, what's your thoughts on the PS5 Slim per se that we have here? Do you think it's a great idea? Do you care about the faceplates with the new one? Do you like the idea of the hard drive being an option down the line? Give us your thoughts. And then obviously like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content. Like we said, every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Sidequests. Main show goes up Wednesdays at noon. So take care, everybody. Enjoy whatever you're playing as we speak, and bye-bye for now.